Dude, have you looked at the fan mail recently?
Let me log in. Get into this mailbox.
Some interesting stuff in here.
I don't know if does it count as fan mail if it's from a Nigerian prince?
This guy's complaining about how tight my pants are.
Okay. Well, I mean,
when you got jack quads, I mean, you can't. There's not much you can
George from Pasadena is asking us about our mountain bikes because he saw our video where we talked about the best of full suspension design.
Oh, it's Horseling.
Putting that aside, he says, hey guys, looks like you're really into enduro bikes. You got a Mega Tower, you got a Reeb Squeeb. I'm trying to figure this out. Do I want to be riding an enduro bike? And anyway, what is an enduro bike? That's good. Pretty good question.
What is an enduro bike?
I think we should go figure this one out.
Let's do it.
We got you, George. All right, let's go. Shit, you got the scooter? I'm Spencer.
I'm Bruce.
This is Shop Talk.
In one sentence, what is an enduro bike?
I would say 150 to 170 millimeters, a longer wheelbase, slack head tube.
In one sentence, an enduro bike is kind of a light downhill bike that you can pedal uphill.
Pedalable downhill bike.
You only get to ride one bike for the rest of your life.
It wouldn't be an enduro bike.
It wouldn't?
No, it's like they're fast, but like they're not as much fun, especially if you're not on like a super gnarly trail.
It's just like slow and sluggish on the uphill, and I just can't live with that.
That's fair.
Max travel is going to be 120 for me. I'll go slack on the geometry. I'm all about the down country.
That's a little bit too much for me. I stick to the slightly flatter stuff. I'm more of a down country kind of rider.
Down country.
I'm surprised. It's like Bizarro World in here. People don't want
Yeah, I know.
the big bikes. So are you an enduro rider?
Yeah, I have an enduro bike. I don't race or anything like that, but enjoy it. I just like going downhill more than anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
If that's your only mountain bike, will you be satisfied or
100%.
Yeah.
It's been that for the last 4 years.
living that enduro life?
Yeah,
Yeah.
only bike.
There you go.
What are you riding?
Pivot Mach 6.
Wow. We got a lot of different opinions out there on the floor. I'm pretty surprised, actually.
Not everybody wants to get into the enduro game, but I think we should still go over what the basics are that makes an enduro bike an enduro bike.
Well, guess what? We have right in front of us a Specialized Enduro.
There it is. The name says it all.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, Bruce. Tell me about this bike's key features that make it an enduro bike.
Well, the first thing we want to look at is obviously suspension travel. And for an enduro bike, you want as much as possible, usually 150 to 170 millimeters of travel. In this case, 170 front and rear.
It's at the top of the spectrum for travel, and that helps you maintain control and speed on really rough downhills. It's like those consecutive rocky hits. And when you get a longer travel bike like this, the damping is usually more advanced, more controlled, more settings. You can fiddle with those dials, get it just perfect, and better margin for error, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, enduro, it can get hairy, so.
It definitely can, that's the point.
Yeah.
So what about geometry?
Well, the two key things you really want to look for in an enduro bike, slack head angle, number one. This Specialized Enduro has a 63.9 degree head angle.
How did you know that?
It's very slack. Well, I want one. It's very slack.
Amazing.
Yeah, it puts that front wheel really far in front of you. It's great for steep terrain, gives you a lot of confidence, especially when you pair it with a long reach.
That's the bottom bracket to the head tube.
Yeah, this is an S4, which is like Specialized large size.
Yeah.
It has a 487 millimeter reach.
Boom, nailed it.
It's very long.
So that geometry means you're sitting back here, the bike's out here, you're shredding a downhill, burp, and it's just like sick because it's way out here and your weight's farther back.
Yeah,
more
super
control.
stable.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Very technical explanation. I hope it made sense.
Yeah, and then there's a couple more, key things I like to think about: brakes and tires.
Yes, braking is super critical for enduro. These are SRAM code brakes. That's a 4-piston caliper, more power, 4 pistons. A lot of them have 2. These are 4. And large rotors. Looks like a 200 up front, a 180 in the back. I mean, you could be running 200 front and rear and still be stoked.
Yeah, but it gives you, more stopping power and then better fade resistance,
Exactly.
Long downhills, your brakes can get super hot.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And the tires, Maxxis front and rear. Maxxis is a great tire option for enduro. 2.5 inches.
Yeah, some big knobbies.
DHF, Assegai.
Yeah, tough casing so you don't puncture.
Classic enduro tire setup.
Yeah.
But a lot of these features, you kind of give up a little, don't you, Bruce? It's not, I mean, the downhills are going to be amazing, as you're probably gathering from this explanation.
Yeah,
but
definitely, you know, if you care about climbs, if you're riding flatter, flowy trails, it could feel a little sluggish.
exactly. Right off the bat, the tires, I mean, these tires are super, super great for downhill traction, but it might be a pound less to go with an XC or a trail tire for a single tire, and then that's noticeable.
Yeah, and definitely with all the suspension travel, when you are pumping through stuff, you know, you're expending a lot of energy to move the suspension rather than the bike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you do give up a bit when it comes to the pedaling, smoother trails, flatter trails, climbing.
But hey, if you care about gnarly downhills,
That's the point.
yeah, this is what you need.
That's what an enduro is all about.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is Specialized has been making this enduro for a really long time.
Yeah, funny enough, the first Specialized enduro came out in 2001, which is well before someone dreamed up this concept of enduro racing, which, looking at my research, about 2003 in Europe when they first ran the Tribe 10,000 race. I believe it was in the Alps, some beautiful picturesque mountainous region. And then later on came the Enduro World Series and the Big Mountain Enduro. So I mean, you know, it was kind of like they were seeing into the future.
Yeah, or, you know, maybe enduro started a little earlier than we think. The first enduro race could have been 45 years ago.
That's like the
Let's-
that's like the late 70s.
No, let's go to the museum, I'll show you.
All right, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's check it out then.
All right, Spencer. So we have here a Breezer Series 1.
Wow, that's rare.
Yeah, so now this was built by Joe Breeze specifically for the Repack Downhill. And you could argue this is the first purpose-built mountain bike.
It is. I think it is.
Yeah.
And also, maybe it's the first enduro bike. Because if you think about it, and you made a great point, I totally forgot, Bruce, but Repack, it was just a time downhill.
Yeah.
And yet,
They had to pedal up.
they had to pedal up. It wasn't like you got on a chairlift or got a shuttle in a truck. Well, maybe they did once in a while. I saw a cool photo of that.
Yeah, but, you know.
It's enduro.
Yeah, totally.
Back in the 70s.
You could say is the first enduro bike.
Just goes to show, time is a flat circle here in the bike industry. Ah, scooter, damn it.
Didn't the kickstand?
He kicks in, gets him every time. Did you actually wipe it?
Oh, dude, that like.
Did you actually? I thought you were doing that like a joke.